Hi, everyone, and welcome to Live, Learn, Leverage, where we share information that is meant to impact, is meant to support, and it is meant to guide. Today, I have the absolute pleasure and honor of having a tremendous human with me today. Her name is Jessica Klimkiewicz. And I had the honor of meeting Jessica. She very much graced me with her presence when she came to my book signing for Create Your Own Table, A Guide to Discovering Your
Mhm,
Purpose.
mhm.
And without giving everything away, I would just love for Jessica to share her story as far as even how she came across my book, knowing who I am,
Mhm.
and her amazing journey that I genuinely believe would uplift because that is what we're here for. We're here to support each other. We're here to be that guide, to be that foundation, and to be that hug when you kind of feel like you're alone. So, Jessica, welcome to Live, Learn, Leverage.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much for being here. So, yes, take it away, please.
Yes, thank you for that lovely introduction, Heather.
Sure.
I just am, first of all, honored that you even asked me to do this. This is awesome. Never done this before. But
Okay.
I will share, I'm excited to share that I have been a teacher for many years, over 20 years now. I have a family, I have 4 children. And I was just walking through the halls of school one day and I thought, is this it? Is this what I'm doing now for the rest of my life? I feel like there must be something more. And I had a little nudge inside of me. And I reached out to some colleagues and I was like, what is this? So it occurred about Thanksgiving time, 2025. And not 2 weeks later, I was looking through the Omega Institute's offerings for workshops. And that's where, and I actually have
I
the
was just
pamphlet.
thinking, I was like, I think I have that somewhere.
And that's where I first saw Heather Dolland Tamam.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, something was pulling me to that offering. And it also is occurring on my birthday. So I believe in signs.
Absolutely.
So I went ahead and bought the book. I was like, I got to read this. Something's pulling me. And so with the idea in the back of my mind, like, am I supposed to be offering retreats? It's something I did back in my college days. Am I being called back to that? And then your book was almost like I couldn't stop reading it. It was a page turner to me. Like I was reading a thriller. And I would be like, oh, leave me alone, guys. I'm reading.
That is so awesome.
I mean, I was highlighting away. And it was really for me just a practical guide to help me move my idea into action. And I literally was like, okay, she says to make a website. It's really important. I'm
It
going to
is.
do that next.
It
But
really is.
I think what most spoke to me about your book was that it wasn't just practical, it was also speaking from the heart. Like listen to your intuition, listen
Yes.
to what you're being called to. Know that what gives you joy will pull you along and it won't feel like work. And I kept being reaffirmed that that's what's happening here. So,
100%. I feel called to just ask though, because you said you did the retreats before. So
yeah.
was that just something that was lurking? Did it already come up and then, but you didn't know the why? Were you thinking about other things? Because you seem to have been very clear on that. Like, why did you feel like that was the direction versus anything else that you could have chosen?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know that I've dwelled on that too much, but I have always been a spiritual, faithful person. And I thought maybe that I am being called back because I'm so busy in my life. I know that I need to be centered more and
Found.
find that grounding again. And I think when I'm offering workshops and retreats like I'm doing now with my business now, um, it's also for me. It's something that I
Yes.
needed. So,
Yes. So it's
yeah.
not feeling like a task for you at all. Like you're showing up to give, but also to get what it is that you need,
Yes. And
which is
I
the
was
best at a
think
full circle, right?
yeah, if I'm needing this, I can't be the only one feeling this way. I'm surrounded by other teachers, other busy families. I know this has to be a need. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
because I am that individual. I've often said that I feel like my resume reads like a person with severe attention deficit. It's like, how many things is this woman going to do? But if I am not feeling happy or I'm not feeling like this is the right thing. And my whole thing is just like take the first step. And so that's why I asked, like, is that something you knew before? Because I think for a lot of people, what I often hear is I want to do something, but I don't know what that thing is. And so I usually say, well, we all usually feel some kind of calling in our soul. It's always that thing that you either feel, at least for me, it's here or
Mhm.
it's like down here.
Mhm.
And it's that knowing. And as I ask the questions, usually we can go get a little bit closer to clarity and understanding what that is. But it sounds like to you like you already knew. But is it that you didn't know how, or
I
it came out as you were reading?
It was such a subtle nudge that
It's
this might be the direction, but I feel like your book was then the final poof, like, yes, moving forward. This is correct. This is your path. It just,
no, I am curious. What was that first step that you took?
well, the very first step was actually um
Tell
I
it
think I
because
just made a business plan. For me, it always starts with a binder, and I
sure.
got some tab dividers. Said, here are my business expenses here. But I needed a mission. So I was trying to define what is my why. I had a colleague at work ask me, what's your why? Know your why. You say it in your book.
Exactly. And in my cards as well. That's one of my
Yes.
pillars. What is your why?
Yes. And so I was really focusing on that and trying to narrow down what is my goal here? What is it I really want to do for people? And I eventually got to I want to offer spaces for meditation, spaces for people to come to themselves, but I also really like the idea of tapping into other people's skills and empowering them to come into this space as well. So that's my ultimate goal. And I'm starting small now, offering 2.5 hour retreats. But ultimately, I want to create a space similar to what I experienced at Omega Institute, where
That's
practitioners, wellness practitioners of all kinds can serve. So that's my grand idea.
I got to tell you, at this stage in everything that I'm doing, that is exactly one of the reasons that I wanted when I'm like, okay, for season two, it's one thing that I share all of the experiences that I've had in my life. It's something very different when other individuals are able to share theirs. And at the end of the day, we are about uplifting each other. And
Abs-
it is so much more powerful when you have that collective voice
yeah.
and that collective energy. And especially it's interesting that I realized that I needed to lean into that because for so many of my previous careers, it had been just so very hectic, so many a lot of different
Mhm.
things. And I'm like, all right, how could I do this in such a way where it's primarily me doing the delivery? But then I realized it's like, but Heather, then you're missing the community.
Yes.
And that is what allows us all to be able to serve because it's
Mhm.
it's a collective wisdom, it's a collective knowledge. Even when
Yes.
I think about the program that I wrote after this book, I interviewed 50 different people
Yeah.
because I'm like, it can't be just about me. It's about that collection. So I am absolutely totally
Yeah.
here for it. And congratulations,
Thank
because to do anything that is in person, especially in this huge online
you.
existence that we've all adapted to, it is absolutely huge. What were those first? Because for a lot of people, because I remember when I saw that link, so I was about to literally take off, and I see this message on my Instagram, and it's just like, who's just? Actually, it wasn't even Jessica, it was Spock Reggie Sanders. That is the name of your so. Just to be clear, the name of Jessica's or your platform, your retreat center, it
Yeah.
is Spark Workshop. To be clear, Spark Workshop and Retreats,
Yes,
right? And
exactly.
so I see this Instagram, like, who is this person? I've never seen, like, who is this actually? What? And I read it and I just absolutely started to weep
Oh my
because
gosh.
I was just like, and then I say to my husband, it's like, you see, it works. It's like, it's not just me. Like, it works because it's true, right? You
Yeah.
do all the things and you hope that it would be received. And I feel like for anyone who has ever had a calling that's in their heart, in their soul, you do that thing and you have this idea and you're not sure if it makes sense,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And for the people around you, especially if they know you as having a different identity, it's like, what are you doing now? And does
Yes.
this make sense? And why? And for so many people, that could be a game stopper. Like right there, the dream begins and ends.
Yes.
Right. And
Yes.
so when
Yeah.
I saw that, I was like, you understood, you got it. It was
I
clear. It's not just me. Like there's another human. I was like, see?
This was yes. It was sitting next to my desk, like I told you, for many weeks as I used it as a guide. And at one point, I just realized I need to let this woman know what an impact she's made for me. I mean, I literally started this business within maybe 3 weeks while my kids were away skiing now and then with dad. And like you said, people that know me were like, "Are you okay? What is
They're
wrong?
like, what the
What do
hell
you
should
need?"
we take your family? What's happening? Oh God, it's
So
true.
I did feel a little crazy. People were reacting like I was crazy. And so your book was the affirmation I really needed. Like you understood, and I knew that. You said, "I have permission to change my goals."
Yes. Oh
You know,
my
even if
gosh.
I've gotten what I've wanted and now I want something different, it's
Yes.
okay.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly that. And
yeah.
I feel like for anyone who is listening, who is feeling like, okay, I want to do all these things, but the people around me, and because of that, you are thinking that maybe it's not such a good idea. You heard it here.
Yeah.
It, we never know, in fairness, the way anything is going to go. As a person who is literally in my third career, I am testimony to that, right?
Yes.
But one thing is for sure, and that is like, just take that step
Mhm.
because no matter what happens, it has worked out for you because you've gained clarity
Yes.
and you have an answer one way or another. And, some people think it's like, oh, well, maybe it's not the answer that you needed or that you wanted, but it's the answer that you need is actually what it is
Yeah.
because you're one step closer to whatever that thing is. So it's like just enjoying that journey and enjoying that evolution. I mean, for me right now, whenever the problems come, I'm like, this is about to be good content. This is going to be a story. And that is genuinely, and I feel like the worse and the more challenging and the more everything, I have genuinely just started to reframe it all. And I'm like, all right, okay, this is about to be my blog. This is about to be a podcast. I mean, for any of you that have listened to season one, I am more often than not, there would be some random craziness that happened on the weekend. And like, let me tell you about this thing that happened. Because at this point, I've been able to genuinely like draw parallels between what the challenges that I've overcome and just things in life in general.
Yeah.
And it's really just genuinely about the reframe, but just stepping into that
Mhm.
knowing. But I
Mhm.
feel like also for my viewers who are moms, and I mean kudos to you, mom of four. How do you please, because that is a big thing. So when I created my program, I did it so there are 24 videos in 15-minute increments because time seemed to have been like the biggest question, the biggest concern, the biggest challenge that most people had. And so I'm like, okay, I would create this in such a way you can listen to it while you're still in bed or
Mhm.
between dinner and sleep or, that kind of thing. But
Mhm.
how do you find it easiest to, especially navigating a new business? You're new to
Mm.
entrepreneurship. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're
Yeah.
new to all of this and
Yeah.
still just being present. Or
Mm.
maybe you even haven't. I don't know. How, what?
I
Yes.
yeah. My husband just got me for Mother's Day a new digital calendar. So now I can manage it all. I don't know. I mean, I think that some things are meant to be. The fact that these ideas were coming at a time when my family was out of the house and I didn't
Yes.
need anymore to be supporting the ski efforts. I think the timing was just so key, and me running into your book when I did. But
Yes.
managing it on a daily basis, I mean, I definitely question sometimes, like, am I dividing myself? Am I spreading myself too thin to be able to serve everyone? And I mean, as moms, many of us are, that's what we're doing. We're servants all the time.
Right.
We're serving
Right.
others. Um,
Sure.
and yeah, I can't step away from that role. I just continue to feel called to it. So, managing it all, when a retreat comes along and it's the week before and I'm getting ready, I I feel excited because I know it's also for me, but it's the people that I have met, the people that have been empowered, that have opened up and shared their stories, they really inspire me. So I think that feeds my energy,
Fills you.
fills
Yes.
my bucket.
It still, yes. Your cup genuinely overfloweth. I
Yes.
mean, I get that because, as a person who's also very heavily involved in community efforts, so I will tell you when I am getting to that place where I'm just feeling so overwhelmed, I'm like, Heather, put your oxygen mask on first. Like, that's how I prioritize,
Yeah.
depending on, like, okay, this is the most urgent and do it like that.
Mhm.
But then I'm like, okay, this is absolutely the most critical, time sensitive. But then I step out in the community, if it's for my church, it's for the neighborhood association, what it is that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And the recognition, because at this point, so many people, they know me, they know my dog, they knows my name. Actually, if I'm being honest, they don't recognize me without my dog. That's a separate conversation. It is just what it is. But it's just like you're part of this community and you realize that they really appreciate you.
Mhm.
And I come home, like I'm in there feeling exhausted, but somehow like I'm in it and then I just start to feel full.
Yes. Yes.
And so I'm like, okay, and I'm like skipping home, wondering what I'm going to
Mhm.
do next. Like if I did just leave home exhausted, but I managed to come home full.
Yeah.
So I get that. And
Yeah.
and maybe part of that indicator is when you feel as though you're walking in your purpose
Exactly.
and you found that thing to fill you up.
Mhm.
And then you get to share it with the world. But
Mhm.
thank you
Yeah.
so very much,
Yeah.
Jessica,
Oh my
for
gosh. Thank
taking
you,
the
Heather.
time to share this, for being on this podcast, because I'm like, this is a really special season where I'm like, we really just get to celebrate and lift each other up. So thank you for saying yes
Absolutely. If
all the way
Heather
around.
Dolland Tamam is asking me for a favor, I'm gonna grant it.
God,
I mean,
I am
really, you've changed
here.
my life.
I am here for you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so please share with our listeners a
Yeah.
little bit more about Spark workshops and retreats, please, where they could find you, the different offerings that you have.
Yeah.
I will also make sure to put all the links in the description, but
Thank
please
you.
just take it away.
Yeah, so
Share.
we're just in the beginning stages. So currently offering once a month mini retreats, I'm calling them.
Okay.
We've done yoga sessions and meditation and journaling in most of our mini retreats. The upcoming one we have on June 4th, locally in Plattsburgh, New York, is called Junk Journaling. And it's something that one of my participants is skilled at. And it's one of those examples of I'm going to bring someone's
Yeah.
talent to light. And so she's really going to take it away. I'm going to offer some meditations to go along with that. So that's our next event. Yeah, and so people can find me, the website is www.sparkretreatcenter.com, and Heather, you'll just post my handles. That'll be great.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I will.
Yeah.
And so if anybody wanted to participate, be a practitioner, all they have to do is just go to the site and connect with you?
Yep, exactly. And you can sign up for events on the site as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, guys. So
Yep.
you heard it here first, or maybe not, but I hope that you did. But thank you again so much, Jessica. And as
Thanks,
always,
Heather.
guys, I hope that what we have shared today serves. Have a fantastic day. Take care. Bye
You
bye.
as well. Bye.